Hello and welcome to a art process video with Chris Foster Design. Today I'm going to be using a art technique called Soufflage, popularized by French painter Jimmy Ernst in 1940. It's considered a surrealist technique. Can be used in a lot of applications. For this I'm going to be using it for my Into the Void series. I'll be using it to demonstrate the simulation of two nebulas crashing into each other. I chose a gold-green color shift, and I also chose a pink, green, and blue color shift paint. And how you're going to do this method is going to be creating a solution. I like to use gloss gel acrylic medium, and I'll scoop up a nice amount of that color shift color from the palette you can see here, and add that to my gloss gel medium, and then I'll water it down so it has a nice fluidity, so I can apply a nice thick layer of it and use a straw for control, which I recommend. You can also use a hair dryer if you're using it on larger pieces, and you're just going to blow that paint around on the surface of the canvas to give a nice organic feel. For my base of these paintings, I use Higgins India ink, which is a permanent waterproof, and I also use white acrylic ink for the Starscape, which is also waterproof. That way you are ensured not to have any of those other colors bleed into the paint you're using for your soufflage. It won't pick up any black and kind of taint your colors that you are using in a nice concentrated form. I like to lay down a nice thick layer, get my straw, blow it out, gives a nice organic feel. You can use this and apply it to all kinds of paintings. I feel like it would work really well if you were doing a fun waterscape with water lilies, or if you wanted some funky, surreal kind of really cool treetops, or even clouds for that instance would be a great application for this method. I highly recommend using it to experiment and just have fun. Great for preliminary ideas in a sketchbook, or just, I don't know, just having a fun art day where you just don't have a lot of energy and you just want to play around in the studio. I also do polymer clay frames for all of my paintings. I find really great molds online, which you can find super easy, and there's so many options to choose from. I found that I can save a lot of money and time with shipping and all of that by using the polymer clay, putting it into my silicone molds, baking the frames off so I just have them when I need them. If you really like some of the frames that you buy, you can always buy a molding kit and then recreate those frames and then use the polymer clay in those. And for coating these frames, I used black polymer clay so that the color shift will pop on top. Left it a bit thicker so that it'll cling on and fill all the cracks and crevices in these, and get a nice coat on the front and the back. Make sure everything is cohesive. Definitely good to use proper size brushes for some of these things. I typically find as they're miniature paintings, I can usually use micro brushes, medium brushes. I think these are just mixed media, not specifically watercolor. But synthetic hair, I feel like works really good with the acrylic paints. Really holds the medium nicely and gives you a nice even coat. Helps it level out a bit more too. But it's always fun to have multiple things you're working with. It's nice to relax and use the polymer clay, and use different kinds of watercolors. You can combine all kinds of mediums always, so never feel like you have to stick to one thing all the time. Next here, I'm going to be cutting down some origami paper. I like to use them as the backing on my paintings. Kind of makes them feel a bit more realistic, tie together the theme a little bit. You can find all kinds of wonderful themed origami papers online. They're super affordable. They typically come in packs of like 50 or more. And a really nice tool I highly recommend for every artist to have is going to be a tabletop portable paper cutter. Typically they run, I think, $10 to $12. A really nice one is probably going to run you $20 to $25, but just helps you keep those nice crisp lines. Always good to have a clean cut. I know my strong suit is definitely not freeform cutting with scissors. I always find that I have a little bit of a crooked line, or I go to put something on like perfectly square and one side is a little bit kind of off to an angle. So it's always good to have the nice professional cut edge of a paper cutter, and you can really crank out a lot of things on this. On days that I don't have a lot of energy to paint, I'll pre-cut a lot of the backings for my paintings. Just clip them all together. I have a drawer full of them for all my different sizes, and that way when you're ready to create, ready to go with your project, you have all of the materials you need ready to go, and you can just have a great day in the studio and be really productive. So that is a insight into my process. I hope you all enjoyed painting with me and hopefully learning some new fun art processes. And here are some of the final pieces for Into the Void. Check them out on our website, theartcollectiveinternational.com, and check me out on YouTube and Instagram at Chris Foster Design. Should be coming out with some more videos, and hope you all have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.